Hey everyone, I'm Dave from DerpMachina. Today we're going to run through the first of our suite of free online streamer tools. You don't need to install anything locally to run them, just set them up on the website and add a browser overlay to your stream. Easy peasy. On this video we're going to go over DM Accolades, which is a point system with trophy or achievement style toast notifications and leaderboards. But enough of the intro, let's get stuck in. First thing you'll want to do, once you've opened your internet browser of choice, is head over to accolades.derpmachina.com. Then log in at the top right. There are two ways to get to your Accolades config. The first is to click Accolades and then set it up in the top toolbar. And the second is to click your profile icon and set My Profile. You'll then see all Accolade related settings here, but let's start with Set Up Accolades. First thing to note is that you will see all your available platforms up here. Only the platforms you have successfully connected will be available. These are set up in your broadcast account section above. I'll include a link in the description for how to set up your profile and link accounts if you haven't already done so. Each accolade will need a name, a description, the platform, the metric you want to count, and some scoring data at the bottom. For example, we'll call our accolade Roll Call and set the description to send one message. Actually, let's make that 15. We'll then pick our platform, remembering that only linked platforms will show here, and then your metric. Metrics are specific to the platform, so if we change that to Discord, we can see that we are only able to track voice time and messages. If we select Kick, there's a whole bunch of stuff, etc., etc. Once you've selected a platform and track, you'll see this notification message here. What this refers to is how much of your points quota you have available for the selected metric. We've set a limit of 100 points per metric to standardize our global leaderboards, which don't yet exist. DM Accolades is designed to promote viewer engagement, but we don't want one channel offering, say, 10,000 points for watching a minute of their stream, while another just gives 10. This notification automatically updates as you change your metric and/or platform. For example, I haven't assigned any points for Twitch follows. I've assigned 70 points for Twitch watch time, and so on. This accolade description is send 15 messages, so we'll pick the metric chat messages. The required amount field is the quantity of the metric required to award the accolade. We're counting messages, so I would set this to 15. The points awarded are the score you will give any viewer who achieves this. Visibility refers to what the viewer sees when looking at their profiles page. On their own profile page, they can select you as their streamer and see all accolades they have or haven't achieved so far. If the accolade is visible, they can see all the information that you have entered here. If it is set to hidden, they will only see that it's a secret accolade worth 20 points, much like a secret achievement or trophy in standard gaming setups like Xbox or PlayStation or Steam. We're happy with that accolade, so we click the Create Accolade button to register it. For those of you paying attention, you would have noticed that I didn't have any points left in Twitch chat messages. Yes, I did that on purpose so I could show you this error. If I change this to Discord messages, you can see that I have quota remaining, so the accolade will save. At the bottom of this page, you're able to view, edit, and delete all your existing accolades. As you can see, our roll call achievement has appeared as expected here, with buttons on the right if we wish to modify or delete it. This is actually my live streamer account, so I don't want that visible, so I'm just going to delete roll call. This section is set up with accordion menus to make it easier to navigate. It'll only show metrics and channels you actually have accolades for, so it does grow as you add more to your setup. You can see the number of accolades you have on the right here, as well as information for each section pertaining to how many points you've used. The next thing we're going to be looking at are the toast pop-ups. Before we begin, I want to point out that these aren't actually toast notifications or web pop-ups. They use a browser overlay in your streaming software of choice to emulate a pop-up. Looks the same, but you don't need to worry about any additional settings or config on your computer. The first step is to choose how you want your pop-ups to look. We've put a few presets in here, such as accolades, which is how I built it when I first started this project, and it was just something for me. Stayplation is a trophy style toast. Dbox is something Billy G might implement. And mist is similar to something someone whose name rhymes with Neighbor Ghoul might create. Or of course you can select custom and make your own. The next section contains the information you need to get the toasts appearing in your streams. The browser-sourced URL will be automatically configured for your channel, so you just need to copy the text into a browser source. Before doing that though, there are two more buttons which may prove useful. The first opens up a test overlay. This spawns a new window where you can see exactly what your toast notifications will look like. You can then use this Send Test Accolade button to emulate someone getting an accolade. It's just test data, it doesn't actually award anything to a viewer. Below this are some recommended browser source settings based on the toast you've chosen. They're just there as a guide, so you do you, but they're there if you want them. Now it's time to add the toast notifications to your broadcasting software. First, open up said software. I'm going to use OBS for this example. Add a browser source, give it a name, paste the URL from earlier into the URL field, set the desired size, tick Allow OBS to control the audio so that you can hear the sounds when a accolade pops, then click OK. Position where you'd like the pop-ups to appear and you're good to go. The last part of the toast notifications page is the customization section. This is dynamic depending on what you've selected at the top of the page. We selected custom, so we have the full Patrick swathe of options. It's all pretty self-explanatory, but the duration is the amount of screen time the toast gets before it disappears. The width is used for the width in pixels of the notification. You may want to adjust this if your text is wrapping and looking messy. The position is where in the available space the toast will appear. For example, you might set your browser source to be full screen, example 1920 by 1080. You could then use this drop-down to change where the pop-ups would appear without having to modify its actual position in OBS. Scale is a multiplier for the size of the toast, so if you wanted it twice as big, you'd set it to 2. You can choose your own sound effect and image here. The image is this icon on the side here. It's an Accolade gem by default, but you can make it whatever you want. You can also modify the colors and or CSS if you want to get fancy. The standard CSS can be modified here, or you can add additional CSS in here, which goes on at the end. When you're happy, click Save Now and your overlay will automatically update. Please note that depending on your streaming software, you may need to force refresh the view for changes to take effect. The leaderboards page will seem very familiar after you've done the toast stuff, as I built them the same. Before explaining, I'll just open up a sample leaderboard down here. First thing I wanted to show you was this image at the top of the leaderboard. You can replace that image with one of your own in this header image section of the config page. Directly below that, you can set whether your leaderboards automatically cycle through different metrics or stay static. On our test overlay, you can see it changes every 10 seconds. You can also alter whether filters are shown at the top of your leaderboard and how many rows you want it to show. The next section is purely about what you want your leaderboard to show. You can select Show All Metrics with Data or customize what you'd like to appear. If you select Custom Metrics, you can then toggle on or off each item that you would like to appear. Below this is the leaderboard URL. The process for adding this to your streaming software is exactly the same as it was for Toast notifications, except that the leaderboards grow and shrink according to the size that you set for your browser source. So if you set it to the same resolution as your stream, 1920 by 1080 again, you can expect the full screen leaderboard. Customization is very similar to Toast's with color selectors and toggles for settings. Show Text Header refers to this line of text informing the viewer what they're looking at. Platform icons refer to any platforms associated with a viewer account. As soon as a viewer participates on a platform where you have linked your broadcaster account, they will appear as a viewer. This means that a user may have one account for Twitch, one account for YouTube, one account for Discord, etc. Auhowever, in the same way that streamers link their broadcaster accounts, viewers can link their viewer accounts. When this happens, DerpMachina auto-merges the accounts, giving them access to benefits such as name changes, Accolade scores across different platforms, aforementioned Accolade stats, and other stuff. Bringing it back around to the leaderboard, the Show Platform Icons tick box here just lets you show what platforms users have connected on your leaderboard. A good use case for that might be if you streamed on Twitch but also had a Discord server. Seeing someone with high points might encourage a viewer to join and participate in the Discord server to get some extra points and remain competitive. As with the Toast, you can also add your own CSS here if you wish. On the last part of this page, there are some predefined leaderboards such as how many Accolade points people have, Twitch, YouTube, etc. And that's all you need to know to get up and running with Accolades. But if you're interested, there is one more page you can check out in the DM Accolades space, and that is the statistics page. This page is streamer specific, so you will only see stats for your own channel. There will be global leaderboards and statistics down the line. However, I haven't built that yet, so let's just pretend. These cards at the top show the number of accolades you've created, how many have been unlocked, how many people are engaged with your channel, and how many platforms you have linked. You can see the source platforms your viewers have been unlocking accolades on over the current time period, as well as a breakdown of that time period showing activity on specific days. The bottom section shows you a more detailed view of the accolades that you have and the percentages of your viewers that have actually attained them. And that, so far, is all there is for our Accolade solution. Your viewers won't need to have an account or even do anything. All our stats are just those available from your channel. So, once you have linked your accounts and set up your accolades, everything will just work in the background. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you found it informative. As you may have gathered, during the course of this. The website is still under development. However, all the things I showed you today are in and functional and working, and they will remain free even if there's monetization later on, which there aren't any plans to, but you never know in the future. But all the stuff that you've seen will remain free. So please feel free to check it out. Thanks for watching. Tutty bye.